everybody. Welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is a daily show. We give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Leading off the show today is AMC Movie News Production Manager, Denison.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of AMC Movie Talk. Before we get into it, I want to remind you guys we are having a Comic-Con meet and greet on Friday, July 10th. During Comic-Con, we haven't picked out a time or place yet, but if you guys want to get the information, we'll either announce it here, or we'll probably do an invitation on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter at ThinkHero, and I'll probably send a link to that Facebook invite as well.
Aw, yeah. Also here, writer-director John Schnepp.
Back from the sweaty world of Florida. Wow. Florida SuperCon, thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun being there. A lot of fans. Sweaties came up, so, make sure you, stay tuned to what we're doing. It's going to be fun next month.
Also here is AMC's Mark Ellis.
Happy Monday, guys.
Happy Monday, guys.
Who are you supposed to be? Who are you supposed to be?
Felt too good.
All right, time for some box office breakdown. Jurassic World is still holding on strong to the #1 spot at the box office this weekend with $54.2 million for its third week in a row at the top position. Disney's animated film Inside Out came in a close second with $52.1 million in its second week. Seth MacFarlane Ted 2 debuted coming in under Universal's own estimate with only $32.9 million, which was good enough for third place. Warner Brothers' movie about a dog with PTSD, Max, debuted in fourth place with $12.2 million. Rounding out the top five was Paul Feig's Spy, starring Melissa McCarthy, with $7.8 million. Dennis, what's your take on this weekend's box office numbers?
Continued to be surprised by Jurassic World. That's over $500 million domestically, over $1 billion worldwide. No one saw that coming. Inside Out holding strong also because I think the drop-off was only about 42%, which means a lot of repeated viewings and good word of mouth. Ted 2, on the other hand, was disappointing for Universal, but I guess they don't have to really be that concerned because with Furious 7 and Jurassic World nailing it, they're sitting pretty. So it's not a bomb by any means. It was just disappointing. So I think they were projecting 45 to 50 million. So it was definitely under that. What do you think, Schnepp?
Yeah, surprised that Jurassic World keeps making those numbers. But, because the critics weren't that kind to it. Mm-hmm. So I thought for sure after the second weekend there would be some kind of drop-off, but I guess not enough. Maybe those people were like, those critics are wrong. I need to see it for myself, So I guess the surprise for me is Ted, that it didn't do as well. But, I haven't seen it yet. But once again, the critics did not like it. Max, I was surprised that made so much money.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Else?
This is shaping up to be a battle between the fourth weekend of Jurassic Park opening, Jurassic World, versus Terminator Genesis. If I was Terminator Genesis, I'd be genuinely concerned that my movie isn't going to be the #1 action kind of film because Jurassic Park is doing so well. It's not that rare to see a movie have an incredible opening weekend in the summer, but to see it through these numbers week after week after week, when there's so much other competition rolling in every time a movie opens. You look at Ted 2, that might be, it's maybe not that disappointing for an opening weekend, but the fact that it's the middle of the summer and you have all these movies coming out, you got Magic Mike, you have Minions, you have Terminator coming out. People don't have that much money to spend on movies every week. So Ted 2, it seems like a bit of a fizzle, which is disappointing because I thought it was hilarious. Is it a great movie? Of course not, but it's really funny. Inside Out is going to have its handful with Minions too. So I think Jurassic World might be the #1 movie over the 4th of July weekend, which is insane to think about.
Well, let me ask you guys this. With Ted 2's disappointing box office numbers, do you guys equate that to people's response to Seth MacFarlane's last film, which wasn't the first Ted movie, but it was A Million Ways to Die in the West, which, opened at 16 point something million, and it just was a box office bomb. Do you think that's their reaction to that?
I think so. I think there's some of that stink left over. If he did Ted 2 right after Ted, I think it would have done way better.
Yeah. I think part of it might be that. I think part of it is just movies get very competitive in the summertime, and Ted, when it came out, was such an original take on a guy and his bear that's talking, but it's really foul-mouthed. It's also an R-rated comedy. It's a comedy sequel, which tend to be disappointing both critically and in the box office numbers. So I think it's a bunch of different factors that all really came together to punish Ted.
Yeah, I think a lot has to do with A Million Ways to Die in the West, because people went to go see Ted, the first Ted, because of Seth MacFarlane's name. They also went to, well, some people went to go see A Million Ways to Die in the West, and they were disappointed. And I'm sure people probably watched that later on VOD or Rent or whatever the hell, and then they're like, yeah, people were right. This sucked.
Yeah.
And so the Ted 2, they were less excited for. All right, what's next?
Last week, it was announced that Tom Holland would play Peter Parker / Spider-Man in the upcoming Sony / Marvel movie. During the press day for the upcoming Ant-Man, Kevin Feige was asked about the tone of the new Spider-Man film, and he replied, "It's the soap opera in high school and those supporting characters that are interesting. Just as we hadn't seen a heist movie in a long time or a shrinking movie in a long time, we haven't seen a John Hughes movie in a long time. Not that we can make a John Hughes movie, only John Hughes could, but we're inspired by him, and merging that with the superhero genre in a way we haven't done before excites us." Schnepp, what are your thoughts on Feige's comments?
Peter Parker's day off. I like it. I like the idea of taking the Spider-Man mythology and having a really fun kind of teenage John Hughes flavored and inspired movie, but with Spider-Man in it, with supervillains, but having a lot of fun with it. I think it's a great idea. And with Marvel's track record and being able to infuse different types of genres into their different types of superhero films, it keeps them fresh and not boring. So I think it's a fantastic idea.
Mark?
It also seems like they might be going away from just your stock origin story, because there's all these rumors that Spider-Man will pop up in Civil War, so we'll have seen him on camera already by the time we get to his first standalone. And when I initially read this, I was like, really, is Spider-Man in a John Hughes? But then you start thinking about it, and some of my favorite scenes from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies are when he's in high school. And he's just being that kind of awkward kid. He's got a quick wit, but he doesn't really fit in anywhere. He likes a girl. He's nervous about talking to her. Those kind of things work for the Spider-Man character. So you're right, it'd be a different kind of spin on it. And as long as it's just not, again, I love origin stories, but I'm kind of sick of seeing Spider-Man become Spider-Man. So seeing him more in high school and in that world as opposed to just conquering supervillains, it sounds kind of intriguing.
Yeah, we haven't seen this before, and I'm definitely interested in seeing their take on it, if they can do it well. I just hope they don't do the Ferris Bueller thing where, like, Spider-Man's fighting a villain and he, like, stops to break the fourth wall to talk to the camera and then cut back. That would be terrible.
I don't think they'll do that. I mean, that was only all the other John Hughes movies, more like Breakfast Club. I mean, he's got a lot of them.
Spider-Man in detention. It's hard to keep that dude in detention all day. He's got some abilities.
Right. Where'd he go? He's up on the ceiling.
But how do you think today's audience is going to respond to that? Because John Hughes was, the 80s and maybe like early 90s, that flavor. Do you think audiences today, because I've heard some I also liked the Andrew Garfield stuff in high school. I liked the stuff with him and Emma Stone. Some people didn't. Some people were very critical about that aspect. They called him emo Spider-Man. They didn't like that aspect. So I'm worried that maybe if they do this, they're not going to like it.
I tend to think that John Hughes movies are timeless, and that it's just you don't get a lot of good John Hughes feel movies anymore because we don't have John Hughes with us anymore. When you think about a coming of age story, so many of them today, Perks of Being a Wallflower is really good, and there's a lot that I like, but if you think of a modern age one, they usually involve some sort of like awful disease or somebody dying, where here it's, there's something very different about Peter Parker, but you can also just have a normal high school experience and all the ups and downs that come with that. So it'd be an interesting, now obviously I do want to see him be a superhero, and I want that element. I want the comic book feel in here as well, but to add something like a John Hughes feel, I think if they can pull it off, would be a real plus for us as comic book movie fans and for wider audiences who just want a fun movie.
Is that a Terror Dog from Ghostbusters?
Yeah, the Terror Dog's 1984.
You've got a Goonie shirt on. You guys are wearing 80s John Hughes era T-shirts.
For whatever reason,
I think people will love it. I think people want that. Kids missed out on having their own John Hughes movie, so Spider-Man could be their movie. So, I mean, I look at it like that. And I think it would be way better than Andrew Garfield, horrible, scenes. Those scenes, only people remember those scenes. Like, they like that because the rest of the movie sucked. So it's like,
I'm very interested now that they announced John Watts for the director, like that cop car movie. Now, like, suddenly this movie, like, I didn't really know about, is suddenly on my forefront of, okay, I need to see this movie, because once I see that movie is how I'm going to judge my excitement level for the new Spider-Man.
You imagine being that guy, and it's like, okay, now I got to direct the most popular superhero movie of all time. Oh, and by the way, if you can throw a little bit of John Hughes magic in there as well, it's a lot on your shoulders.
Yeah,
man.
A lot of high expectations. All right, guys, we're on to the buy or sell segment. Ashley, what do we got?
Fast and the Furious's Tyrese Gibson has been on his Instagram lately, teasing that he has been cast for the role of John Stewart, one of the Green Lanterns. In an Instagram post a few days ago, he posted a fan-made image that featured Chris Pine as Green Lantern Hal Jordan and himself as Green Lantern John Stewart, with the caption, "The oath has been taken." Rumors of the future Green Lantern movie featuring multiple Green Lanterns rather than just one have surfaced recently. The solo Green Lantern film isn't set for release until 2020. However, the character of Green Lantern or Green Lanterns are expected to appear in Justice League Part 1 and 2, which come out in 2017 and 2019. Mark Beyer saw that Tyrese Gibson has been cast as Green Lantern John Stewart.
I'm gonna buy it. Something about this feels real to me. I know Tyrese likes to have a lot of fun on his Instagram. I follow him, but this sounds like something else. This sounds like he wouldn't go to that level of posting that picture and making that announcement unless some ink had already been dry on paper. And it sounds like the right way to go about rebooting a Green Lantern franchise. And obviously, it's going to be really interesting when you have multiple Green Lanterns pop up in a Justice League film. It's going to feel like an 80s sitcom. Wait, you're Green Lantern, but I'm Green Lantern too. It's going to be like when you're at Comic-Con. There's a bunch of people cosplaying as Green Lantern. But it's kind of exciting that they're going to take it in this route. If it's true, I think it is.
I'm going to buy it as well because it seems like if it's not true, he's going to have a really bad day on social media. Like people are going to be like, "Oh, I thought the oath had been taken," like all this stuff because he's sounding so confident. My guess is it's already been signed. He's the guy, but they're waiting to Comic-Con to announce it so they can bring him on stage. What do you think, Schnapp?
I'm going to sell it for right now until the Comic-Con and they announce it, and it's like Chris Pine and Green Lantern, and then me. I'm the third.
Okay.
Green Lantern.
Are you Guy Gardner?
No, I can't announce it yet
Okay.
until like Comic-Con or maybe after. But Instagram, some of our artists have made me up as a Green Lantern dude. Just check out Instagram; it's pretty amazing. I even heard Ellis and you are like the 4th and 5th Green Lanterns, but they're calling it Green Interns.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you got to work your way up through the green corporate ladder structure.
Yeah,
you don't just come in and be Green Lantern. You got to start out as like a little mag light.
Yeah, you got to work for Kilowog. It all takes place on Oa. It's really cool. It's kind of half comedy. Anyway, guys, I'm not gonna buy it until it's fully announced. And Tyrese has been he's been gunning for this role for like over a year. He's been posting other pictures of himself as Green Lantern, even last year. After I remember 2 years ago, he was like, "I could be a Green Lantern." So that he really desperately wants to be Green Lantern. Maybe that worked, and he did have a meeting, and he's going to be one of the 3 Green Lanterns. So who knows?
The fact that he threw Chris Pine in there with it is the one that kind of sells me. Is that okay? Yeah, maybe there is something else going on here because you're right. He has been campaigning for it for a while. Ryan Reynolds was also campaigning to play Deadpool forever, and that seemed to work out okay. So I think that it's on Instagram, Schnapp. Of course it's fact. Come on.
Yeah, and then I guess Chris Pine they were talking about him for Steve Trevor for Wonder Woman, and then now there's rumors coming out, "Oh, no, that's not going to happen. He's going to play Hal Jordan." And then, I don't know. I'm going to buy it for now. I think we're going to see it at Comic-Con. All right, what's next?
The Weinstein Company has announced that Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight will be coming to San Diego Comic-Con this year. The highly anticipated Western will have a Hall H panel on Saturday, July 11th at 1:30 p.m. and will feature a panel consisting of Tarantino and various cast members yet to be revealed. We aren't sure which of these Hateful Eight stars, Sam Jackson, Tim Roth, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walton Goggins, Michael Madsen, Bruce Dern, Channing Tatum will take part. However, we do know Nerdist co-founder Chris Hardwick will be moderating the session, which will also include exclusive footage from the movie. The Hateful Eight opens on December 25th in limited release, then expands nationwide on January 8th. Dennis, buy or sell the Hateful Eight coming to Comic-Con in San Diego.
This is a big buy for me, and you know what? It doesn't matter what stars are coming because Tarantino's going to be there, and people watch a Tarantino movie not for the stars that are in it. They watch it because he's writing and directing, and they know they're going to get the style that they love. And so if he's going to be there, people are going to be there. Saturday, good spot for Hateful Eight. Marvel's not going to be there, so you can take a lot of that attention. What do you think, Schnapp?
I buy it. I'm really glad that Hateful Eight will have a spot at Comic-Con. So hopefully they'll release some of that footage after Comic-Con because there's no way I'm going to get in Hall H. It's like a block swirling around. That's the hateful, swirl crowd. I don't know. I'm not going to wait in line.
I'm using my Green Lantern powers to be in Hall H, so I'm going to review this stuff as soon as the footage comes out and all the other things going on in Hall H that weekend. And you're right, Dennis. It's the Wild West there, no pun intended, is that Marvel not being there and having a presence. There's already going to be Star Wars buzz from Friday, and that leaves Saturday wide open. Now, maybe DC and Warner Brothers really come to play that weekend, and they announce all these Green Lanterns, and it's me, Schnepp, Dennis, Tyrese, and Chris Pine all on stage as Green Lanterns. But maybe they don't have a lot of stuff, and this can kind of steal Saturday, because the fact that Tarantino's going to be there is exciting. The footage stuff is off the charts. Everybody's been anticipating what this movie is going to look like, what the feel is going to be, and having Hardwick moderate the panel is a big play. Nobody is better at moderating a panel at Hall H than Mr. Chris Hardwick. I think a lot of the stars are going to show up. I think particularly I'm going to throw some money on Sam Jackson and Channing Tatum and Jennifer Jason Leigh all showing up for this.
I don't think Bruce Dern will be there, though.
I think maybe Laura Dern will be there.
All right, what's next?
Bryan Singer's XMen Apocalypse, the sequel to the financial and critical hit X-Men Days of Future Past, is currently shooting in Montreal. Set in the 1980s, we'll be seeing younger versions of characters that we have seen before, like Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm. However, one new character that X-Men fans know but haven't seen, Psylocke, will make her cinematic debut in the film and is being played by Olivia Munn. The actress recently posted a video on Instagram showing off her sword training in preparation to play the Japanese ninja mutant. Schnepp, buy or sell this video of Olivia Munn's sword training?
I'm gonna medium buy it, because it's just like, it just didn't seem like she was like knew the camera was on, and then they decided to use this as Instagram footage. That's what I mean. It's like she was training, but she looked bored, and then at the very last minute made like a kind of a semi-serious face and looked at the camera. It was like, did she know that this was going to be uploaded? That's what I felt when I saw the footage. So I mean, it looked cool. It's great to see that she knows how to use the sword. She's training. So medium buy.
Mark?
She looked like she's learning how to use the sword. She looked like she can obviously do it better than somebody off the street, that she's had some lessons. She's implementing them. She's working hard at it. She's not a master just yet. I don't think the cameras are rolling on her filming that scene, whatever she's training for tomorrow. But she seems like she's getting the hang of it. What I really buy on the Instagram is Aaron Rodgers as some sort of mutant in the background. That guy is not only one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, he could be the successor to Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. You heard it here first.
Okay, I'm gonna buy it as well. I'm one of those people that I like Olivia Munn, because there's a lot of people who don't like her because of off camera persona and that type of stuff. But I liked her in the newsroom. I try to separate that on camera presence versus the off camera presence, and yeah, she looked like she was doing a good job. The one thing that I'm interested in is this is set in the 80s. We're gonna see a younger Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm. But Psylocke is much older. Olivia Munn is a much older character. I thought they were supposed to be around the same age in the comic books. Am I mistaken? No. So I think that dynamic is going to be a little different for the movie. Like, what has she always been around? Like, how do they meet up with her and all that stuff? So, all right, what's next?
The Hollywood Reporter has revealed that a movie based on the book House of Deceit, written by Ken Bensinger, about the corruption of former American soccer exec Chuck Blazer, will be produced by Academy Award winners Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and will be directed by Warrior Helmer Kevin O'Connor. Chuck Blazer was a FIFA executive committee member from 1996 to 2013 and admitted to taking bribes and hiding money from the government. He eventually was compelled to cooperate with the FBI and IRS, which recently led to the arrest of other FIFA officials. Mark, buy or sell the sounds of the FIFA scandal movie?
I buy it, but it seems a little early to be doing. I mean, this stuff just broke, and it might be it's a really intriguing story, and it's still making headlines, but usually when you make a movie like this, you got to get away from it for a little while in order to really treat the material in the proper way. I mean, the fact that it's being greenlit, it's happening this early. Yes, Affleck and Damon are masters at doing this, but it just feels like the timeline is more like a Lifetime movie of the week, or like a special ABC 48 hours investigation, as opposed to an actual feature film. So I buy that it should happen. I think it feels a little early.
Yep.
I'm gonna buy it. I agree with you, but I think they're pretty smart about it, because like they could be in production even before the final decisions are made, and then just shoot that very last scene right after. Like, it's like, you're guilty, put it out and be like right away, like, check it out, this movie right after the decision. It could be like right on the cusp. You know,
I'm gonna buy it because Gavin O'Connor. I loved Warrior. What he did with Warrior. I also really like Miracle. And then obviously Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They're producing and their involvement. I don't know. I always find these scandal corruption stories to be very interesting. I think with this one, the book had already been written, and I guess the guy who testified or who this book is about led to all the FIFA scandal stuff that came out recently. So I don't know if when they were making this movie or they were developing, they knew all this stuff was going to drop all of a sudden. So I think just that all the press from that scandal helped get it greenlit a lot faster.
Yeah, and you also wonder if they're trying to time it with a big soccer event. I mean, obviously the Women's World Cup is happening right now, but the Men's World Cup is, I believe, in 2016. So I don't know if they're going to try to time it with something big like that. Will Smith concussion NFL film is coming out in December around Christmas, which is trying to capitalize on everybody getting excited for the NFL playoffs. Maybe they're trying a similar strategy with this. I don't know. I'm not that big into soccer, so sorry.
Yeah, I'm not huge into soccer / football. I watch it once in a while, but it's one of those things where it's always funny how shocked and surprised people are when they find out there's corrupt officials in those things, right? Like the Olympic Committee or something like that. It's like, why do you think these guys stay in those positions for so long? And because they take all these bribes. So I'm interested in it. So on to Mailbag, where we answer your mailbag questions. You can send us your emails at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Ashley, what do we got?
Evangelos Banks writes, "Hey AMC dudes and dudettes, love the show and watch it every day. My question is, do you think directors should always get panned for making a bad movie when the screenwriter wrote said movie and the studio approved of it? I've been thinking about this a lot since the whole Joss Whedon Age of Ultron thing. I personally think AOU would have been a better film if Disney let Whedon do what he had envisioned, and it seems unfair to criticize him about a movie which wasn't entirely said vision. What do you think?"
I do think Joss Whedon's getting unfairly bashed for Age of Ultron. He did write it, though, so you can't say it's another screenwriter. He did write it, but he had certain restrictions. I'm guaranteed he had more restrictions for the second movie than he had with the first one, because I think with the first one, they just wanted them, hey, find a clever way and fun way for all these characters to meet up and have a common goal. I think in the second one, there's all these things that came before it and all these things that came out or that they need to set up for after. And he probably wanted to do a lot of things that he couldn't. Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's unfair to give directors all of the credit if it's an incredible success, and it's unfair to slam a director if it's a horrible failure, because all films are a group effort and no one person is in control of every single facet. So
I mean, that's what you sign on for as a director, though, right? Is that you are, that's the job, and that you are, I'll try to use a soccer reference. Maybe you're the goalie of the team, so if I saw a soccer score and it was 3-0, it's like, man, you let in 3 goals, that's the goalie's fault. It's not necessarily the goalie's fault. That could be the defense breaking down, that could be the offense not scoring enough goals, but if you also pitch a shutout, that's not all your success either, because the team had to play well, so you could do that. Same thing with movies, is that if Joss Whedon made the Avengers, he directed the first Avengers, and everybody loved him, because that movie was awesome, okay? But that wasn't all of his success. He had a lot to do with it, particularly in getting the chemistry down between all the different superheroes. But he also, there's a great brain trust at Marvel that's overseeing everything. So you can blame Marvel as much as you can blame Joss Whedon if something's great or if it's not as good. I don't understand the hate that Avengers Age of Ultron is getting in general, as far as it not being a great film. I thought it was awesome, but I understand different opinions. You can blame a director because that's the job they signed on for. It says directed by this guy. That's one of the things that you're signing on for. It's not just making a movie, it's also taking the heat or the success when said movie comes out.
And then also it has to do with power and control. So in the case of Joss Whedon, I think he does get unfairly because he doesn't have as much control as someone that's more powerful. So someone like a Chris Nolan or a Michael Bay, right? They have control over who's writing the script, what's in the script. Look, Michael Bay with Age of Extinction, he can say like, no, I don't like this script. No, let's change it. I don't like this story point. I can change it because Paramount sees, hey, he made the first movie, made a ton of money, made the second movie, made the third movie. So he ultimately can decide, because all Paramount wants is money. They're like, you're very successful, so we trust you. So in those cases, I feel like that's when directors can get a lot of the blame because they do have that control versus in other situations, especially let's say the Jurassic World we just saw with Colin Trevorrow. I don't remember who wrote that script, but
he co-wrote it with two other people. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the control that he has for something like that being it's not his first movie, but it's his first big budget movie was far less than someone like a Chris Nolan or Michael Bay.
Right, but it always bugs me when the laundry gets done in public like that. That's what I will blame Joss Whedon for, is that you come out and say later, it's like, oh, that scene you didn't like? Yeah, that wasn't my call. That was Marvel. It's like, it's great. You're trying to save your own butt there, but I don't like when everybody starts attacking each other after a movie comes out. It just, it rubs me the wrong way. You signed on for that job, so you got to take the success or the blame.
Yeah, and you're getting lots and lots of money.
And you're really rich, so enjoy it.
All right, what's next?
Nick Denbo writes, hey guys, since we're just about halfway through the year, I was wondering what your favorite movies of the year are so far. Mine are Inside Out, Mad Max Fury Road, and Ex Machina. Thanks and keep up the great work.
Mark, what are your top movies of the year so far?
I would go with Ex Machina is way up there for me too. I think that one and Jurassic World and Avengers: Age of Ultron probably tie for the most fun I've had at the movies this year, although I really enjoyed Mad Max Fury Road as well. And look, Ted 2 didn't do that well, and I didn't love the movie, but it's just still in my head as just, I probably won't laugh that hard in a theater for the rest of the year. It's just that funny.
Snap.
Yeah, Mad Max Fury Road for me is the top film. That's the one to beat for all these other films. Even Star Wars Force Awakens, it has to beat Mad Max Fury Road. It probably will, but that's my top #1 film.
Mine also will be Mad Max Fury Road, but also Dope. Have you guys seen Dope yet?
I really enjoyed Dope too. Yeah,
that's one of my favorite movies, and Love and Mercy was really good. And then also, we saw Inside Out, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Even Paddington was a big surprise to me.
You know what? I'll add Paddington too. I really love Paddington.
That was this year. Yeah,
really fun film.
Yeah,
there's also a movie that I got to check out on Friday that I am not allowed to talk about yet, but it was cool. So just know there's a movie coming out sometime later this year that I really like.
You saw Star Wars?
It's awesome. Yeah.
And I'm excited to see me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, and a movie called Slow West as well. Western. I heard really good.
Ben Mendelsohn and Michael Fassbender. That's a pretty good cast.
Yeah. Ashley, what are your favorite movies of 2015 so far?
You guys covered all of it. I loved Inside Out. I loved Avengers: Age of Ultron. I also really liked a movie that not a ton of people saw, McFarland USA. Did you guys see it?
No.
I did like McFarland
It
USA.
was so inspiring. I felt like I wanted to go for a jog afterwards. I really liked it.
As a distance runner, they actually pulled off the cross-country scenes fairly believably.
As a distance runner. Look at you.
They put one foot in front of the other just like you really do when you're running. Amazing.
All right, guys, that's it for today's episode. I want to thank the people on the panel with me. Schnepp, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at John Schnepp and at TDOSLWH. Of course, my film, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, comes out. Go to www.tdoslwh.com. Pre-order that movie and get a Blu-ray, DVD. July 9th, San Diego Comic-Con. All my friends here are going to be there. We're going to release it digitally. We're going to have a live commentary. So live, if you pre-order the movie and get that digital download, you could watch us all talking about it. We're going to set the exact time coordinates. Subscribe to my channel, Schnepp Zone, on YouTube, and check out all that fun. It's going to be crazy.
Mark, where can people find you?
Time coordinates. That's specific. That
Yo,
sounds
yo, yo.
futuristic.
Yeah.
You can check out my YouTube coordinates with also AMC's Christian Harloff. We do our show Schmoes Know. Subscribe to that channel. Follow me on Twitter at 5150 Ellis, Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, I will be in Hall H all 4 days covering all the stuff for you. So make sure you guys follow my Twitter for the latest scoops and updates. And just to rub it in Ashley's face, I'm going to run 6 miles today.
I'm jealous. You guys,
Ashley, where can people
find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Ashley Move, and see how lazy I am. Happy Monday, guys.
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero, on Instagram, Dennis.tzng, or on YouTube, ThinkHero Pro. And make sure to subscribe to the AMC YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/AMC Theaters, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.